everybody, Lucas from the local here. Just wanted to say happy spring to everybody and just give you guys a little bit of an update on what's going on at Dufferin Park, and also maybe give you a couple of tips for the early season. So for those of you that are here for tips for the early season, you can actually plant some things right now. You could probably get some kale and lettuce, even carrots in the ground at this point if you're eager to grow and you want to get going. It's a great time of year to get rid of the weeds that are starting to pop up in the soil, likely from just things being carried through the air and stuff like that through the fall, and now they're springing up. So it's great to get at these things really early because it's simple and it doesn't lead to a lot of weeding later down the road if we get at them right now super early on. So one of the things I'd say about getting at the soil this year is, like, it's starting to dry out, and if you want, you can, what we try to do is we try not to turn the soil at all. We're what's known as a no-till system. So we actually just kind of scrape the surface with a stirrup hoe to sort of get rid of all of the growth on top, and then we don't turn the soil to prepare it. Because what that's going to do is just bring up a lot of residual weed seed, dormant seeds that are down in the soil, and we're going to end up cultivating weeds essentially. So what we actually want to do is just let the soil rest in that regard. So which brings me to what's happening at Dufferin Park. So as you can see here, Derek, if you want to pan around, what you can see is all of our furrows. These are all our furrows that we grow all of our different crops in here, and most of them have this grass in them, which I think maybe for people that have never done anything like this seems a little bit scary, like we have a big grass crop. So what this is known as is cover cropping. This was rye cereal grass that was put in to the garden last year by the Urban Farming Group in the fall. And what we're looking to do here is it's overwintered, is just keep our ground and our furrows full of plant matter. That keeps it photosynthesizing. It keeps the microbes and the bacteria and everything really happy in the soil and alive, because they're feeding off of that process of this grass kind of being like a solar panel, taking in all the sunlight and turning it into carbon and carbohydrates essentially in the soil that earthworms feed off of, microbes feed off of, and then on up through the soil food chain there. If we were just to leave them bare, a lot of the life would leave our soil. So we cover crop for that. That's one reason we like to do that. Another reason is that these plants have enormous root structures. So as this plant grows higher and higher, so the root structure gets larger and larger, similar to sort of an iceberg. Like, we're only seeing the top of the plant, but the root systems can run very, very deep, up to I think about 2 meters with rye. And what that's going to do is it's going to start drawing up all the minerals and beneficial nutrients from deep down in the soil, and deposit it into the green grass of the plant. And when it comes time to get rid of this, we're going to actually crimp it, crush it like this, and break the stems, and that will kill it. And we will leave it in place to decompose, almost like an active compost or a green manure on top of the soil. And now all those nutrients that it pulled up and all of that good photosynthesis will all go toward fertilizing our plants next year. And one of the most important things that it does also is that it also aerates our soil, so we don't have to turn the soil. The roots of the plants are now filling the soil with all kinds of root structure, so it's breaking up anything that's possibly causing compaction or anything like that. So it's sort of like almost like a tillage device, but using like a biological entity rather than a mechanical tool to do that for us. So again, we're not having to turn the soil, break down the structure of the soil, and it also allows us to have minimal weeding as well, because that way we're not cultivating weeds. So that's what's happening right now. We're just basically waiting for this ryegrass to get to a maturity stage that's called the milk stage. Once it gets then, we will crimp the entire garden. We'll likely drag a tarp over it for a couple days just to make certain that we've killed the rye, and then we'll start our planting for the season. So thanks for joining me here. I believe it's April 28th. We're eager for the planting season, so I hope you are too. It's a beautiful day, and I hope you guys have a great weekend, and thanks for joining us.